case you live under a literal rock, Bloxburg just updated last week and changed their entire map. And now we have 4 new plot locations: Sunset Point, Lakeview Heights, Riverview Estates, and Bloxy Acres. Now 2 of those are the same, but they just changed the terrain. And so since they have new terrain, I thought that I would start a series where on each of these terrains, I would build a different house that goes along with the terrain. So today, obviously, I had to start off with my favorite, Sunset Point. Today, I'm going to be building a beach house on Sunset Point. All right, I'm not exactly sure if I want this like far back or if I want it like really close to the road. Now, the farther back it is, the closer it is to like the actual beach. The closer it is to the road, the less of a walk it is. I'm thinking we can have it probably like here, so there's like actually room for the beach. Now, I don't want this house to be too big. I'm thinking about just having like a classic 2-story beach house. I'm thinking about like randomly spamming my mouse and like making a like path here. What if I make it like this texture? That just looks stupid. Now, since this is like on the beach, I'm thinking about spamming these like dirt piles, because obviously there's sand on the beach. Because then this way it looks like the sand on the beach. I'm pretty sure this is the... Oh, what would have been a smart move was coloring these before I placed them down. You know what? We're going to have our house on stilts. Now, do I know how to do this? No. Now, I'm thinking about not adding a second story because I feel like I want this to be like a cozy little... I always used to wonder as a child how full-blown house would stay up on these little wood slats. But you know what? Let's not question it. Let's just let it happen. So I think that that's a pretty good house. Now we need some stairs. Think about having a nice blue house. You know what? We might need to make this a 2-story house, because I don't know how we're going to fit a bathroom, a bedroom, a living room, and a kitchen all into that. So you know what? We're going to make that 2-story. I want this to be like a cozy beach house that looks like a retirement home. Wait, I just realized there's no fences. We're gonna have a lawsuit. Obviously, we need to add some of these big, juicy, voluptuous, large glass baffled doors. So I added this in my Valentine's Day video, but I want to add like kind of like a pergola, but a pergola doesn't fit. I think we're gonna add like a flat roof here, and then don't worry for all you guys saying, why is it facing the literal road? Why don't you have it at the back where the beach is? Don't worry, I'm gonna have one at the back. Now we need some nice cozy little hanging string lights, and then we can add a nice rocking chair here for Grandpa to watch the children. You know what, that came out wrong. You know what, no, I changed my mind. We're doing a 1-story house. I want it to feel nice and cozy. All right, you know what, I think that looks pretty good for the front. I don't care about your opinion, it looks good to me. I tried my best, guys. All right, so for the layout, we need a layout. I'm thinking that can be the bathroom. What if this is like the bedroom is like open? I like that idea. You know what? And we're doing that. The kitchen and the living room, because the living room has the most windows. All right, you know what? I'm gonna make a custom color here, guys. All right, this is my custom color. You know what? I'm gonna be a little funky monkey. Did I just say funky monkey? You know what? Never mind. And add the bathroom first. All we need in the bathroom is literally a toilet paper, can't forget that. Okay, I did a little custom shower and a sink. Wait, since it's a beach house, what if we use this little life preserver mirror? And then, you know what, if we want to add a little bit of realism to this build, we can add some towels. And then the next room I want to work on is the living room. Talk about a good view. Oh my god, if I had this view, you would never catch me leaving my house. All right, I want this living room to feel very cozy. I want like half this living room to be the couch. And I feel like the ocean's gonna get a bit cold, so I'm gonna add a fireplace. I love this one because it doesn't take up so much space and it looks cozy. I feel like this living room's really empty, so I'm gonna add a carpet. And then for some extra storage, we can have that shelf. And you know what? I don't feel like having any overhead lighting here. I feel like that would kind of ruin the nice, cozy vibe. You know what? That floor lamp is ugly. I kind of want to work on this bedroom next. You know, we have room for a double bed, but I think I'm gonna add a single bed. And then I added more windows there so you can wake up to this view. Could you imagine just waking up, hearing the ocean, and looking out your window and seeing the ocean. And you know what? For some privacy in the bedroom, we can have these curtains. Who cares if they're not real curtains? I didn't know how to add real curtains here. So we're just adding these basic shapes that look like curtain. And then this is triggering me how we don't have a curtain rod. So I obviously needed to add something that like made it look like the curtains were hanging from something. All right, and you know what? We need to make this bed look like the coziest bed that the entire oh, that's going through the wall. This looks like a hotel, but we're gonna add white bedding. Okay, but you can't tell me you wouldn't have the most peaceful little slumbers in that bed right there. Okay, but like, what do beach people even have on their nightstand? Seashells? All right, and you know what? Even though the beach is right outside of our window, we're gonna have a nice fat and juicy beach painting right here. Okay, and then last but definitely not least, we have the kitchen. Guys, I just realized I kind of forgot to add a place to eat, so you know what? I think I'm gonna add a cutesy little dining table right there. Okay. And you know what? I'm just going in the corners and adding these sleek ceiling lights because I just realized the house is kind of dark. Oh wait, and you know what would be the cutest thing ever? If we added a little tanning setup at the beach down here. So you know what? All we're gonna add is literally 2 chairs and a table because I don't care. All right, well that's the house all done and it totals at $70,000. This is an expensive house, so let's take a tour. So when you first walk in, you have a little kitchen. You go to your left, the very beautiful bathroom. And if you go over here, you have the living room, which is really basic, but you know what? I don't care. And then here's the little dining area. And then I think that this bedroom is everything. We have the little beach painting. And then if you look the other way, there's the actual beach here. And then we have these nice glass doors out to this area. And then you can walk out to the beach, get a nice tan. Why am I like see-through? All right, and then this is personally my favorite part of the house. Look at all the detail and effort that was put into this. I just think that it's really nice. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!